Alright. Here goes. Oh, this must be a... Oh, it's an infinite loop thing. Wonderful. Okay. Hey guys, I'm back for another video, and welcome to the first ButtonPress stream. Yeah. Alright, so first off, I have no idea what kind of, reception this is going to get. I'm just kind of doing this on a whim. First off, welcome to everybody to the introduction of ButtonPress Studios LLC. Finally. I also realized that my microphone's not getting picked up in Discord, which is quite weird. I'm not quite sure why that's happening. That is very strange. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Discord right now. I'm actually going to restart it manually because it's not. But anyway, today... Oh, what happened? Ah, there we go. Today I'm going to be basically introducing ButtonPress to the world with my friend Glenn, as well as a whole bunch of the people that are already involved, which is pretty cool. Alright, let's just end task because Discord doesn't know what a Blue Yeti is, apparently. Good job. 2 streams in 1 day. I know. And my dad just texted me saying, congrats on the new business. So, to start out, while Discord's getting set up, I might as well introduce you to... Wait, hold on. Is this ready? Hello? It's still not working. What the... Oh, I'm still connecting. Oh, hello. There we go. People can hear me now. Okay. Yeah, if you guys are watching the stream, it might be a little weird. You're going to get some echo. So, say hello to the ButtonPress... I don't know if I'd want to say staff, half beta testers. They're just chilling in the event private VC right now. I will head over to the general VC soon, and that's where anybody can join. Like, even you, viewer. Alright, so to start things off, I'm going to show you guys the project that basically started ButtonPress. So, as you can see, here's some source code. I don't really care showing off my source code because... a lot of it's going to change. Doesn't really matter to me. So this is the RP Games engine in its current state. This is the C# version. I'm actually going to first show you guys the Visual Basic version because this is the exciting one. So this is going to be the engine for our first game development project. So as you can see, this is the RP Games engine. I might as well full screen. Beep. Is that going to work? There it is. There we go. So yeah, this is the RP Games engine. And as you can see, it's got Minecrafty looking menus. Of course, this is very in-depth. So of course the buttons would scale in the future. You wouldn't get this in the menu screen. Let's go to video settings. I don't know, sound settings. So yeah, this is the menu music. And we got sound effect volume. And then we have some grayed out buttons there that don't work. Video settings, we can adjust brightness. So, this is the RP Games engine, as I said. And this is what we're going to be making our first game in. Called Project Immortal. Also, I don't know why the music isn't working. It probably should be... There we go. So, this was made by Glenn. He should be stopping by the stream at some point. So, what the game was before I decided to rewrite it in C#. Oh wait, I don't know what button to press. I think it's E? Spacebar? I don't remember how to do this. It's been a long time since I played with this version of the game. F? Oh, there we go, it's F. So you can sleep in beds. This is the music from Survival App. Oh, yeah, the intro music, that's right. So this is the introduction area with the demo and everything. Nope, there's an NPC that looks just like me. Ignore him. So, Project Immortal is supposed to be a game that is this style. It's going to be top-down, and of course, everything's going to be zoomed in to the point where you don't see stuff like this, obviously. The whole point of the game, I explained it earlier in the video describing ButtonPress. And basically, Project Immortal is a game where you... This music is so distracting because it's good. It's what Glenn made a while ago. So basically, your main character is immortal, and they have to deal with the consequences of making friends and losing them over the course of many generations. And of course, this demo was made to look like Pallet Town, paying homage to the type of games that inspired this project. It took, I would say, about 1.5 years to actually develop it. Also, there's the secret area, which shows off the first few areas I ever made for the game. But, yeah. So it took me about 1.5 years to make. I decided almost 2 years later, I'm going to remake it in C# because Visual Basic isn't very expandable. I mean, I guess it is, but there's a lot of technicalities to work out before you can really make any products with it. So I decided to switch to C#. Oh, and there's an item pickup sound. And you can sprint, of course. So yeah, this is Project 1. So I guess today, in this stream, we're going to be basically describing what ButtonPress is. Of course, I'm showing you now the first ever project that will be released under ButtonPress. Project Immortal / the RP Games engine. So this is the engine. It'll be used to make multiple games. So Project Immortal is going to be one of those games. There's a classic, like, road under construction, you cannot pass, Pokemon style thing. This is Route 1. And the chest sound is from Minecraft. Let's see, what else? There's a fully working command prompt as well. I can do /help. Oh, I gotta be in debug mode, that's right. There we go. So now that's when you can see my coordinates. You can see the area I'm in, the time of day. There is an actual time of day. It shows the FPS, which is capped at 59. I capped it at 60 in the code, but for some reason, 59. I don't know. So if I do /help, I can do /help list, and it'll basically... There we go. It's not formatted very nicely, but yeah, there's so many commands. It's a very large, expandable project, and let's get the music out of here so I can actually focus on what I'm saying. There we go. Alright. So now we minimize that, and we should be back to the desktop. Alright. So that's the Visual Basic version of RP Games Engine, something like 5,000 lines of code. Let's switch over to the C# one. You're going to notice there's a lot less stuff because it's in the process of being remade. See? I'm currently in a really, like, in development stage right now where the walk cycle is the thing I'm working on right now. Like, you can't even move. So, I'm not even going to show you the C# version. But anyway, let's see who's in the chat. I heard some noises.
Here.
Glenn's here! Oh my god, Glenn's alive! His first appearance in a long time.
It's been a long time.
So, yeah.
How's everybody doing?
So, Glenn is going to be... He's a music person, a music man.
I play the musics.
He plays the musics.
All the such, as you heard, I wrote that. That was a long time ago. So that piece that was in the game, that's kind of looping, and it's kind of a nice little rag.
Yeah, and it completely, like, seamlessly loops. It's really nice.
And there's much better produced stuff that's kind of in the works that right now I've got some more poppier stuff, but right now we're trying to work it into something that we could see that working again in the game.
So would you be willing at some point for us to play a portion of it just for fun, so people know the level we're at?
This?
Yeah,
I would have to look around. To be honest, a lot of it it's not stuff that would end up in the game. Like any of the stuff if we do show, it wouldn't be stuff that would end up in the game. It would more so serve as, like, I guess, stuff that I've done before as, like, an example. But I think the music that was shown in the game wasn't a terrible example of what could be done. That wasn't a poorly written song.
Yeah, you know my favorite.
Written a while ago. Well,
Shmoopy-Doo.
yours is. Oh, you like? Yeah, I forgot you do like. Yeah.
Schmoopy-Doop is definitely my favorite one. I like the name, by the way.
Yeah, no, that one's that. Somebody said Glenn sounds like Anthony. I could see that. We have similar register voices. He's probably like a tenor, like me. I think I'm like a tenor, something like that.
So I'm gonna copy a link to the Discord into the live stream. There are currently 30 people watching, which is pretty good considering everything. So there you go.
Hell yeah.
So we're gonna get some people on the Discord. So I guess I might as well describe the inner workings of the Discord channel now, because hold on. There we go. So basically, the Discord is the ButtonPress Studios Lounge. It's where anybody can chill out, including fans. And this is where a lot of work is going to be done as well. So we got a whole bunch of chats here. Welcome, rules, roles, donor benefits, links. And then we have the general chat where people are probably chilling right now. Hello! And then we have announcements, which this live stream... What happens if I could probably watch my own stream from inside the Discord. Anybody can chill out, including... I can. That's fun. And then we have the suggestions chat, where anybody can submit suggestions for either a game or a concept of a game, or even the Discord itself. Basically anything button press related. Work showcase. So this is where people submit things like this. That's not made by Vault, by the way. That was made by Pranay, which that's his nick right now. I don't know why. But yeah, so stuff like this. So this is like a logo concept. I submitted this. This is the thumbnail template for the live streams. You probably saw it, considering you clicked on this. So you can submit anything you like into here. I actually haven't seen any of this since. But yeah. So anything that the staff considers really good, they can post it here. Pretty cool.
Speaking of which, shout out to I don't know who drew that. That looks kind of cool. The Bear a Piggy Lover 713. I don't know what that word, how to pronounce that.
Oh, the drawing.
That is definitely, it's a pretty cool drawing. So
I definitely would not be able to do that.
Yeah, we'll be looking in places like Work Showcase, stuff like, just and the general chat and stuff, just to get an idea of like if you want to be involved with the project and you want to help out, if you have ideas, feel free to throw them in, and then we'll reach out to you, and then. Q&A is pretty straightforward. Things, bug reports, like if you're testing the game.
Oh wow, a lot of people just joined. I should probably explain the core idea of button press. 13 minutes in. So basically,
sure.
What ButtonPress Studios is, it is a... I'm trying to think of the wording for this. To put it simply, without too much explanation, it'd be almost like a crowdsourced game development company. So like what we're going to do is we will be open for applications for, I guess if you're talking like technically, independent contractors.
Well, before moving forwards, I want to put out there that, Brett, like, we're not just people who are just setting up a platform to take other people's work. I'll be writing music. Brandon is very, very, I don't know how much he's spoken about it, but he's very fluent with his work in coding, and he knows what he's doing. And if you know what you're doing along with that, so we're trying to reach out to as many people as possible and try and really make this into something good, because the more people, the better, you know.
Yeah. But, so what we're basically going to do is you can see the roles in the Discord here. So this would be the best way to explain it. So the process would be people who join the Discord, they show off their work, and if we like it and we think it fit with the game, we can either promote them. We can promote them to intern, which basically means at first, right? This is like, I should word this very carefully. Intern is the most relaxed staff position. So you don't need, I mean, you can get there through applications, but you can also get there by having connections. So basically what an intern is somebody that has skills, they show potential, and they want to work on the project, and they don't necessarily want money. Now, I'm not saying we're going to steal work, okay? That's volunteer. If you feel that you should do paid work, that is where all of these orange ranks come in. So there's art and animation, sound design, world building, developers, programmers, and
we will certainly incorporate ideas that are incorporated will receive credit for
exactly
having worked on what they've worked on, and you won't go unnoticed if you contribute to the project.
Yeah, so for example, right? I mean, this is the whole point of work showcase staff picks. Like, even if it's not used, like, Pranay still got credit for this awesome piece of fan art, you know? Like, I love this idea. Like, this is definitely going in the right direction for what I think some sort of intro or, like, maybe logo for ButtonPress is. Because I don't know about you guys, but this logo I made for the lounge, I mean, it's kind of meh. I like the background I made, which if I pull up my ButtonPress Twitter, I kind of like that, the pixelated city background thingy. But, you know, the icon could use some work. But anyway, yeah, so in the project itself, so let's say someone comes up with a really good story element, like they're an intern in the story writing department, and they just submit this idea that should be implemented in the story somehow. If it is, then they'll get credit.
And also something to be mentioned is that a lot of the game is going to be worked on behind, we're going to figure out a lot of elements of the game essentially, and we're going to bring the elements that we're pretty sure of, mechanics, you know, story that we figure out and stuff. We'll bring it to the Discord and stuff, and then we'll kind of, I guess, yeah, we'll take any input that you guys really want to throw at us, and to tell us if it stinks, if the idea we have should be this instead. Like, yeah, all critique is valuable. I mean, I know, Brandon, you set this up a lot more than me, so sometimes I feel bad saying we, but I think what you're looking for a lot, because this is your project mostly.
Yeah.
But like, I'm making music. I think you're looking for really just as much critique and just try and make this thing the best as possible, because, you know, like, the more eyes on it, the better. But yeah.
Yeah. I should also point out, right, in the Discord, things are fairly relaxed. So, like, for example, if you look at the roles, right, I mean, for now, right, the business is technically still in the works. I submitted a whole bunch of the legal hoo-ha that you guys don't need to know about. But, and on an off-topic note, like, apparently to start a business, you literally need, like, to submit and, like, ad in the newspaper once a week for 6 weeks as, like, proof of your business starting. That's a little weird to me, but that's something you have to do. But anyway, in the Discord, to keep things real, any staff that are officially hired, like, with a literal document, I think it's a W-9, I think.
Are you talking about tax forms for hiring people?
Right, yeah, like, anyone that's officially hired will be given a prefix.
Can you say W-2, maybe?
It might, but it's not an hourly thing. It's independent contractor work. So basically, you get a percentage of what you did in the project once the sales are made and stuff like that.
Once it's made official, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, because at the moment, the company doesn't have assets.
Yeah,
obviously.
So, yeah, and we're not, or I imagine that we're not jumping into things too quickly. This is like the start, so
yeah.
If you have some serious talent or something you want to throw our way and stuff, like, we're very willing to listen. And
yeah.
But like, we're not just gonna sign everyone like who wants to.
Yeah.
You know, like, but yeah.
Yeah, the highest rank I've given out in the past few days has been intern, you know? There's very few people that actually have, like,
sure, yeah, that's
an official hired
like,
rank.
Intern, you said it's kind of like pretty much like someone who's
shown interest very
relaxed in
relaxed.
it, and who's shown interest in it.
Oh, I'm gonna get the Visual Basic off the screen.
I was thinking of something. I just got confused for a second when I was looking over at the ranks and stuff.
Oh, I X'd out of the C# one. Yeah, there's Visual Basic in the background. I know that's triggering for some people because Visual Basic is... let's open up the C# one for the background at least.
Sure.
I think it's that one. There we go. But anyway,
So there are there are a bunch of people in this chat that are muted there.
Yeah. So we're chilling in the private DC or VC, DC Comics, VC, just to explain everything.
Are we bringing him?
Why don't you at least use C#? This is why I moved it to C# in the background. Okay. To those of you that just got here, that Visual Basic project is like pretty old, like probably 4 years old at this point. Old news. But the idea is being redone in C# so that it can be better worked on by many people. So far, I am the only person that's worked on the actual code for the RP Games engine. So far, Glenn is the only person that's done music for the RP Games engine. Other than that one music clip I used in the title screen because I just took it off of the internet just for the demo. Oh, I should also describe the links here. So I'm gonna open up the Trello board. If you guys don't know what Trello is, it's basically like a to-do list. It's a very large to-do list that you work on together with other people. Oh, my internet's being really derpy right now, so it's kind of struggling opening stuff. Let's see. Let's open everything and see what loads first, and I'll talk about it. There we go. All right, so I might as well talk about the staff application. This is the first step if you want to become staff. I mean, the first step would be joining the Discord and just talking and stuff like that. But second step would be to apply through here. So you give your email address. Might as well. Your age. And then your Discord username. That's mine. Throw that in there. And then you select what you want to be. Say, I want to be a software developer. Intern, which basically means no pay. Greater chance of acceptance because it's more casual. There's no legal documents involved. You're just kind of helping out, showing your skills. And if you want, you could reapply for a paid position later. Say you're like 17 and you technically can't be hired. Or is it 15? I don't know what the minimum is. But say you're 15, birthday's in like 4 months, and you really want to do something, but you got to wait until you're 16 to get officially hired with documents and whatnot. That's what you would do. So say I would not want to be an intern. I would want to actually apply for a position. Goes here. It basically describes what a software developer does at ButtonPress, the criteria. You get a chance to explain why. You can submit a resume, a portfolio. So I can just be like ASD because I'm just doing this as an example. Let's just submit some random thing. Face cam stuff, why not? There we go. So I just, nope. Is my internet being dumb again? I think it is. Come on. It was weird. Upload. Alright, my computer's being a derp.
Wait, is there... Oh. What's happening?
Nah, my computer's just being dumb. Yeah, the internet here's been a little weird. Okay, it just reset. But basically what it would then ask is, like, what projects would you want to work on? And then it would give you a, some other links, I think. But anyway, yeah. So that's the process. You find that in the links chat. Here's the other one. This is the Trello board. So I'm going to click on the one for RP Games Engine. I spent quite a long time organizing this. So basically we got all our categories here. So it shows that green means it has to do with the menu or GUI. Whatever to-do list item we're talking about. IO, which basically means file transfer. Gameplay elements, core gameplay, or core like engine elements. World editor, graphics, music, and ambience. And then you can see all of this. So like... I think this got... I don't know what happened here. This title card got renamed to something that probably shouldn't be there. Anyway. So there's ideas, which would then get upgraded to any of these categories. This should be small updates. I'll fix that now. Small updates. There we go. So then I'll add items here. Anyone that is currently, say, developing for the game. For example, we need a combat system. So you click on this. There would be a description put there. This is just the framework because there's so many different things that need to be added to the game. But each individual thing will be looked at. So, for example, say there was a description there. Somebody that's a developer at ButtonPress would see that And then if they decide they want to work on it, they'd move it here to in progress, and then they would add their name to it so I'd know who's working on it. And then they would just go and do their thing, and when they're done, it's put in complete. And that's where everything sits until it's done. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. So asset maker tools, basically what this is oh, I actually did some work in this one. So basically what I want with RP games is to eventually release it to the public. So not only would we be making games with this engine, but we'd want to eventually release it as a game development tool. And one thing that's super important is to import assets that you've made yourself, or even to make them in-house. I mean, some people can do that. So if you want to say, for fun, completely remake some pre-existing game, I'm not going to go into specifics because certain companies would absolutely destroy me legally. But if you want to do it as a fan and you have the engine, then why not? Then you can import your assets here. And you can actually import like different tiles or different player skins or things like that. Music. So things like that.
I do like the idea of just bringing it to an engine that could be used by everyone.
I want it,
something that could be, you know?
I do like... At the beginning, I thought it was just going to be a way to make a single game, but then I figured why not make it this easy for everybody? You know, I saw how easy the few things I had in the level editor made it to actually do, like, game development stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think these guys are, like, dying to unmute. Because I keep hearing them unmuting, and then, like, the dun and...
How long is the stream going to be? I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe an hour, maybe 3 hours, maybe... another 10 minutes, maybe another 2 hours. I don't know.
How long has it been on so far?
So far, it's been 27 minutes.
27 minutes?
Okay, so here's
were we going to let these guys unmute, or are they just like...
Once I'm done explaining things, I'm almost done. So, there's a Patreon page. I need to update it, because for now, it's just for the RP Games engine, but at some point, I want to update it to be the whole of ButtonPress. So basically... what we're doing, we can't do it for free. And as most people would know, if you're developing games, like indie games, you're not going to get a dime until you release the product. And that could be hard for a lot of people. So say we do, like say me or Glenn, and like say I need to go back to school, maybe Glenn has a job, but we really, really want to get some project out there. But we can't because we're like preoccupied with other things. So what would be amazing is say, I mean, I could do work while I'm at college. I have been, you know? It's just that I need to, like, for example, if I was given money through Patreon, I could put more work into RP games, into ButtonPress, because I would not be struggling for money and desperately, like, you know, spending many hours trying to find the video that'll get the most views or whatever. Like, this will give me the peace of mind to actually put full days into development on projects and things like that. And you get benefits. Of course, they need to be updated because early access, I actually ended up giving this to anyone who asked for it, basically. Being able to be beta testers. That might change in the future. But yeah, so we'll see. Got to update a whole bunch of the Patreon stuff. But that's that. And actually, the first person that donated on this Patreon for ButtonPress recently was Lucid Sigma. So shout out to you. I know you're watching this. I saw you in the chat earlier. Yeah, you're right there. Anyway, I think now it's time to unmute select people and just, yeah, talk about maybe who wants to do what. Direct people to the... I would highly encourage that people fill out the staff application. We're not going to be officially, like, accepting people, like, legally, because we don't even have the infrastructure set up yet for the form. So for now, everything is... Hi, stream. You see that person, the moderator? But, everything's going to be Discord groups, and once the official legal everything is set up, that's when... the forms are filled out. That's when people are given a money prefix to show that they're making something from this. I mean, I guess since I'm the owner, I might as well do it to myself. I guess. I'll be the only one for a little while. Oops. But just so people know. Boop. There you go. So, I would say Glenn would probably be the first person to get, or the second person to get it, because I can't imagine anyone else doing the music for this better than Glenn.
Thank you, son.
And I remember what you said earlier. There's no obligation to go nuts and make like 1 million songs in like a day. So it's like these projects are probably going to take a few years, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
Speaking of
RP
which,
games...
I was actually working on something today that could possibly end up in the game. So we got a couple things working. We got some stuff in the...
So yeah.
I think somebody
and who knows, maybe if the Patreon goes nuts, then we can drop the job thing and just go all in. But that's a lot of Patreon money, so we can't do that yet.
Well, yeah, but that would be a big test.
But anyway, yeah, I would say that's pretty conclusive, right? We've said just about, or I've said just about everything, and you've said some stuff too. I would say together we've gotten just about everything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's probably not too much to be said about music, I suppose, except that people who are interested in doing it, I would say that if you want to work on the music, I'm trying to think of you should have a good mindset for getting around your instrument, whatever your instrument of choice is. Have some knowledge with a program, preferably Ableton, something like Ableton, or like something. It could be Pro Tools, it could be Logic. Having knowledge there, maybe if you have mastering knowledge. If anybody has mastering knowledge and is really good at that, hit us up. That's something that would be really, really useful. Yeah, but with music, I'm looking for voice crack. I'm looking for some for pretty good talent. So yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I have something to say on that note, but as well, Lame Drew, welcome back. Welcome to the stream, dude. It's been like, man, it must have been like 5 years since we've done a video together. I'm not even kidding. Anyway, Lame Drew. Yeah, we did a few Hypixel videos. TNT Tag, I remember we did one.
Oh yeah. I think I remember that.
But anyway, I would say I would extend Glenn's message to almost every aspect. Artists are greatly appreciated. It's awesome to see what people can do with a pen and paper. But ultimately, what ButtonPress is, it's all digital. It's game assets, it's logos, it's all digital. Same with the music. What ends up actually going in the game needs to be perfectly loopable. It needs to be something that could play well in like a...
Now that's not to say I'm not taking... If you're really good, people who have horn knowledge about, or have horns and capability to record horn music. What I mean by that is like trumpet, tuba, stuff like there are certain instruments that I'm really interested in. So if you have recording capability, the minimum requirement I'd say for music would be probably you should have recording capabilities, at least the ability to send me a nice recording of something in tempo, and or the ability to use said program, and we could send back and forth stuff. But I think with art it's probably the same thing, in the sense that you should have the ability to send us in a way that the art that you're sending us, whatever medium, is useful and in the programs that we're going to be putting it into, Yeah. I think that stands for all of the art, for you should have a way of even with writing story, you should know how to use Word and email us,
Yeah, and I think with the with the storyboard stuff, most of it's not going to be specific, It's not going to be like a novel where there's, adjectives all over the place and, it's all, you have to treat it almost like a stage play, maybe? Where it's you say what happens, but the specifics that go down, that is
imagine
almost...
a TV show, scripted, more like people talking to each other, not narrated. It's not going to be something where it's and then Bill looked at the blah, more scenarios.
It would more just be instead of he looked at this with amazement, it'd be he looks at this shocked or something, and it's super short, and it's exactly what happens, and it's
something you could fathom in a video game as opposed to a book. But yeah, so just keep in mind, and we'll start. We still have to get a little bit more information about what the story is going to be before really it would be fair for us to ask of them, you know, like input. So we understand that there's more stuff to be done on our end with that, and with music too. I understand that. So I've got to make some more songs and stuff. But
that also reminds me there was something I was going to show off. Oh yeah. The one thing that's left, if someone does get a staff position, here's the staff chats. There's so there's the staff chat, obviously. There's the ideas chat, which I kind of completely took over with Immortal stuff. And I sent it to Glenn. And basically, I'll keep going on. There's Moderation 101, teaching moderators how to, do their job. And then there's the staff projects chat. If people want to collaborate on a specific project, that's where they would do it. So, there's that.
Yeah, I think any other big points to go over?
Yeah, the one last point, I guess, this first project, Project Immortal, here's the whole thing, right? So, I mean, we're in the process of story writing. There was this big session. Me, Glenn, and Zim Tom did a big brainstorming session, and we basically came up with what you can see in front of you here. So basically we got our main character, roughly 20-year-old guy, so maybe a reflection of most of us and that have been talking about it. At least
I can't see what's going on the screen right now, but I'm guessing that it's the text of our notes writing down for story.
Yeah, it's
we should say that this is not final.
Oh, none of it's final. No.
None of that's final, and it's all subject to change. So, this is no spoilers or anything. But yeah, you go on. Sorry.
But anyway, yeah. So, your character gets injured, is brought to a family friend. I should say something that this story, so far, the most suitable location we are looking at is California, in roughly the 1700s, 1800s, around there is when it starts. And anyway, with that in mind, you get injured and you're brought to a family friend at a village, and it's people that live in the woods, and they know more about that sort of stuff. And then you get a cure that cures your getting injured, but then inadvertently works too well to the point where you can't die. Some conflict happens. The main family's characters, maybe they get killed, maybe they don't. I don't know. Something severely bad happens. It's proven that it's lethal, but you survive. And then you wake up and realize that your wound's gone. And then that's that moment where you're like, oh, I can't die. I'm basically Deadpool. Except it's different from that. But yeah. So then throughout the game,
we're trying to figure out some sort of existential sadness that he has to deal with based on his immortality kind of backfiring, as you'd imagine it would be good, but we haven't really found the crux of it. If somebody has something like a heartbreaking story or something, ideas and stuff for that, Brandon's a coder, I'm a musician, we don't usually write stories, so all input on that is very much helpful.
I would say though, we're both strong enough mentally to actually, if we really work at it, we could probably make something amazing.
We're both creative, so if you forced us to, we could. But it would take more time, and I think it would be more fulfilling to have a group of people come up and share their ideas too. So, but yeah.
So I guess the thing about this game, its general feel isn't gonna be in most games. So since you can't die, it's not all about here's the objective, we have to kill all the enemies and try not to die, because that's just not a problem. And I feel like the general feel of the game isn't going to be something like action or happiness, or it's going to be a sad game, most of it, because, I mean, if you think about it, you out-age everybody you meet, basically.
Yeah.
So that's,
in a sense, we need to find the crux of it, what is... If not your life that's valued, what are you valuing? That's the
I mean, I'm not saying that would make it bad. I would say definitely art surrounding... There are many good works out there that are surrounding... being sad or something like that. I feel like the Fallout universe has a sad overtone to it. Like, everything's dead, and it's like you have to survive in this wasteland, and it's kind of like that. But I would say even more so, because it's not so much that the world's falling apart around you, it's that all of your personal connections are falling out.
Yeah, and it's kind of, it's a personal battle that I
guess to put it simply, I could put my inspiration. I had a talk with Glenn about this, and I'm not going to go nearly into as much detail, but I feel like a lot of people could relate about the fear of death. And what this game tries to do is answer the question, what if I couldn't die? That's what this game is. Is it better to live forever, or is it better to appreciate the time you have, or is it necessary to die almost to appreciate what's here, kind of? And like, that's like, is death the point of life almost? Weird, very, very deep philosophy going into it. It's gonna be hard to tie in though, but we're gonna try. Yeah, and as far as specific elements are concerned, spoilers, there's probably gonna end up being a scene, just because I love this idea so much, that there's a scene. I keep going back to that scene in Undertale with the bar. I think it was Grillby's or something. Just imagine a scene like that, where you're like chilling at a bar with your friends, and you're just like talking about stuff, having some food and drink, and the good times have been had. And then later in the game, hundreds of years later, you come back to that same spot, and the place is like disheveled. It's all like overgrown, abandoned. The whole town maybe even is abandoned. You walk in and you see everybody that you remember from the bar. You see all of it, and it's all hustle and bustle. Everyone's moving around and interacting with each other. I just had an idea, dude. Wait. I'm saving it because I don't think I should give it out to the people yet, because it's that juicy. Okay. And then all this stuff is happening, and the second you try to interact with anything, it all disappears, and then you're shown just what you're actually looking at, and it's just everything's overgrown, no one's there, and it's just you. And like, that's a powerful moment, I feel like, if executed correctly. So things like that, I feel like, is something that a good story writer should be able to make. And, yeah. I wanted to extend out to Daniel Holy, if you are interested, because we are most certainly interested if you want to make a storyboard. The Discord, Brandon, how would you go about accessing the Discord? Do we have a link for that in the? There's a link in the description of this live stream. Yep, there is. To join the Discord, and if you'd like, and if you want to do that and contribute, you can throw that into the work showcase, and then we will absolutely take a peek at it and get back to you if it's something that, you know. And I guess we should note as well, if anything, if anyone that's not a intern says anything about, like, if they give some really good idea and it ends up being used, they'll get credit anyway. It's not like we're not gonna steal ideas, all right? It's going in the credits. It's going to be acknowledged no matter what, some way. But Daniel Holy got just a couple hours, or give me just. I thought you said just give me just a couple hours. I was about to be like, damn, but a couple days, hell yeah, dude. I'm looking. Hey, Zintom's here. Yo, you're totally welcome to join the chat. Hell yeah. I would say he's along with Glenn. I would say he would definitely be quite a strong candidate. You know, like, we would make quite the team for this. Sure. Yeah. Let's see if he joins. But yeah, Zintom, our story is that I was showcasing the RP Games engine on my channel like this. I was doing update videos, and he commented asking some question about code, and we just got in this conversation. I'm thinking, like, wow, I've never had an interaction in the YouTube comments. At this point, it was almost like a year after I started doing the update videos, and I was like, this guy actually connects and knows what, like, I've never had an actual conversation about, like, how to make some sprite and work in XNA, or, like, how to do some algorithmic thing that has to do it, and it's like, it was the most bizarre and awesome thing. And then we just started talking, we exchanged Skype, and then we just were like, he helped me out with a lot of stuff in the RP Games engine from that point on, and we just talked and coded. It's pretty sweet.
That's awesome. I didn't even really know that story, but that's cool. That's a great example of the kind of environment that we're trying to set up, kind of, you know, like if you want to be a part of something like that.
I mean, Zintom at first was just another commenter, you know, but we started talking, and he's a cool guy, you know, and he has the same ambitions that I have, and it's just like, that's just how it happened. So it could happen to any of you. Now, I'm not saying don't push yourself on us if you just want interaction, all right? There's other places to just, like, you know, chill. Like, there's the 30Virus channel. Eventually, this live stream is probably going to be moved to ButtonPress at some point, like this series, once there's some sort of following there. But for now, it's on 30Virus.
Yeah, I think you're saying pretty much there's a more serious aspect of things. Like,
yeah.
It's more about, feel free to, I'm sure there is, right, you made like a memes chat, right? Or something like that in the general chat. So yeah, like in general chat, in memes and shit like that, feel free to shit post your freedoms. We'll even make a shit post thing for,
yeah. One thing I would like to do is separate this from the YouTube thing, though. So if, I mean, you can still call me 30Virus, but here I'm Brandon, you know? I'm me. On the 30Virus Discord, I'm still...
anywhere. You're Brandon everywhere, and 30Virus on your channel, you know? Like.
But yeah, this is a place where it's more about, like, the programming thing and the game dev thing. But I'm not saying you can't just talk about random stuff, because it's still fun, you know?
Yeah, alright, so I think that's probably almost all the information so far that we're thinking about.
So let's open this thing up. Alright, moderators, we can open the floodgates. Let's see how this goes.
They've all, like, left the screen. They're all, like, getting water or something. And
no, the thing is, there's a delay, though, that's why. There's a 30-ish second...
I forgot there's a delay.
Yep,
but they can hear us in the chat, though, can't they? They can hear us in the Discord.
Oh, wait, that's true.
That's pretty funny. I
mean, most of the people in here are staff.
No, that's true, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Alright, well...
we're in the event private DC at the moment. Or VC? I keep saying DC. Yeah, this is basically beta testers and above. We'll start here. Then we'll make our way down. I don't know why Lucid Sigma's in the event Discord. He can go in the private one.
You want to hop over to general and just have anybody hang out that wants to? Oh, God. Just for fun, for a little bit.
Alright, let's do it. I'm gonna wait for Glenn first. Oh. Hello.
What's popping in the general chat? Event? Yeah.
My interns can't join the private.
Yeah. Oh, wait, they can't?
They can't?
Oh, I can fix that. Hold on. Hello.
Gotta do a little fix for the chat.
There we go. No, most of the people in here are muted. I don't know if that's by their own.
Yeah, what?
Or if they're...
You guys can unmute your microphones.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's interesting.
Oh boy.
Well, anyways.
Well, a lot of people are unmuted. They're just not talking. Hello.
Yay.
Hello.
How's it hanging?
Good.
Awesome. Are any of you guys? I know Lucid Sigma, right? You said you were, or Brandon said you were
intern
making contributions to the game as well.
Yeah.
Planning on it. What area again were you? Sorry, I'm a little out of
programming.
Word. That's dope. And we gotta get some more musicians in here.
Well, one of them has been dying to talk to you. And that's Rin. I don't know if
oh yeah. Where's he at?
He's Nick, the greatest musician right now. I don't know if he wants to talk and be on stream.
Oh, all right. Oh
I'm
wait,
so good at this.
It says he's in the he's in the chat, but he's just muted.
He might be away.
He's muted himself, I think.
Oh, people aren't. Okay, how about this? I'm gonna unmute everybody, and if you don't want to be unmuted, then you could remute yourself. All right? Here we go.
Where's my bottle?
What the? Oh,
Brandon, you go and unmute us right when I'm about to take a drink. Literally, bottle ready to go in my mouth, and you unmute us.
What was ready to go in your mouth? Wait, what?
Bottle.
Bottle. Yeah.
Say it again.
All right, there we go. So if anyone wants to be muted, they can remute, but if you don't, that's fine.
Everybody remutes, and it's just like you and me left, just hanging out by ourselves.
So welcome to ButtonPress. This is a thing.
Sorry to interrupt, but you've got to love the time difference zone, the time zones. Like, you've got people from the UK, Australia. They're 8 hours ahead of me. It's like 7 a.m. for them over there.
Oh my god.
5:51 for me.
5:51 p.m.
Yeah.
It's literally 10 to midnight for me. So
Who's from the UK?
Me.
Wait, so we got 5:51, 10 to midnight. I'm at 6:51. Everybody's different time.
It's
Yeah.
9 a.m. where I am.
Holy crap.
10 to 1 for me.
Jeez. Wait. How are there so many different time zones? Like, is that even possible?
No, there's a lot of time zones. I think there's like 20 of them. It's crazy.
Hey Brandon, do you want to know how serious I am about your live stream? I was going to do a blooming super chat, but then I turned to my bank and it says, "Oh, I can't." Legit, I was going to. I had it ready. I was ready to put in my goddamn 3-digit authentication. I can't even talk. Authentication, dude. I looked at my bank and goes, "Don't bother."
Well, it's the thought that counts.
Yeah. And considering I'm supposed to be getting a new graphics card, I need to save as much as I can.
Ah.
Oh god.
Well, anyway, who here is what?
So cool to be on stream.
Yeah.
Nah, man, it's normal. I throw myself in these streams way too much.
Oh, hey, Rin.
What's up?
Hey.
Oi, Glenn. What's going on?
Hey. It's been out. I was waiting to finally meet the other person who's making some music.
Yeah, I'm playing with them right now, actually.
With what?
Oh, hello.
I'm
Hello,
trying to use
this-
Audacity, it's not working well.
Oh, word. Audacity is a nice tool for like recording, but you don't have too many tools as far as like splicing around goes. It's like it's really
This is
tough.
Sigma. Thank you for the super chat. On behalf of Pat.
Yay!
It's not working at all.
That's amazing.
Have you ever tried Ableton?
I was looking into it while you were talking about it, and it was so weird how it wanted me to download it.
Are you trying to torrent?
No, man. How much is it anyway?
Well, it's the light version's like 100 or 150, I think. And then light doesn't mean light's not like a demo. It's just that it's got a lot more than you'd think with the light. But then the standard's like 300, and then like premium suite is like 500. It's crazy, but music programs are like that because
My God.
Music programs are mad expensive.
It's like a Vegas Pro is like $500.
Plugin software is hard to make and expensive. So like, yeah, but yeah, if anybody knows anyone that knows how to master music, which is kind of like mixing music, but just to a much deeper extent of knowledge. If anybody knows anyone or that does
I'm in
that.
jazz band, so that's great.
Wait, what do you play?
Percussion.
Word. Well, like, do you play like the drums, or do you play like a xylophone, like a tuned instrument, or toned instrument?
Pretty much the drums usually.
That's tight. If you end up finding a way to record jazz drums, I would be super interested in
Cool.
in that. If you find a way to do that, so yeah, that would be really cool. I'm
one of the youngest persons in the jazz band because I'm in 6th grade.
Youngest person?
Yeah.
Dude,
A lot of
kick
them are in
ass,
eighth
dude.
grade.
Kick ass, bro. Nah, it's fun. It's fun to play music with a lot of people. I didn't actually get to do jazz band because I started playing music super late. I started playing music when I was like 16, which is only 3 years ago, or 15 or something like that, but I just grinded really hard and then ended up, yeah, just trust me, do jazz band. I wish I did, you know? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. But it's fun. And,
Anyway, yeah, who here is excited? I'm bringing up the VB version of RP Games just so that you guys get that visual, even though it's old, but it's probably the best representation we got. Yeah, Zintom, I was, my microphone sensitivity on Discord is set really low because I cut out otherwise.
Same here.
God damn it, Brandon.
Oh. So it looks like I'm always talking when I'm not. It's bad. But yeah, who here is excited for...
Background.
Not me, I'm leaving.
yeah.
Excited for the RP Games engine / ButtonPress.
Well,
Seems cool.
yeah, no, I think we're all... We've
Dope.
probably gone over all the information, so now that's left is just to keep on working strong on it.
Yeah, now we can basically chill.
Oh,
Yeah.
before I forget, I do have a 1 terabyte hard drive that just needs reformatting if anyone wants it.
But how damaged is it?
It's literally just come out of the machine. It's perfectly fine condition. It just needs to be reformatted.
I would love it if...
Yeah, get it shipped to America.
Well, Mr. Toby's dad, they give it the super chat. From me this
How much
time.
would that cost?
That would...
Too much. Where did the fucking go?
I don't know.
Give me 2 seconds.
That's a bit of weight to it.
I don't remember
I'll just
if it's
fly
more
over to
based
you
on the
guys
weight
and
or if
grab
it's
it.
the size of a package. Probably both. I'd
Well,
imagine.
let's just say it's probably about 1 inch thick.
Yeah, like a standard mechanical drive. But anyway, trying to think. Yeah, I'm super excited because I feel like what's going to end up happening a few months from now, we're probably going to have these huge chats, and then at that time, hopefully, there's a lot of people that are actually like invested in working on this stuff, and we're all just chilling while working on our own part of the game. Pretty
In that
cool.
sense-
You know I'm not invested.
Hmm?
You know I'm not invested, Brandon. Don't even.
By then though, we could have, what would be cool is if if we get a couple more people on music, or if we just get a couple more songs going, or I get a couple. We could have
I
like
actually
some
just uploaded
songs
something
playing
to
while
our
Brandon's
show.
doing some coding, and then we'll be showcasing different people's work and stuff like that. That would be a fun little stream. But
That would be awesome.
Yeah, maybe that could be how these streams eventually are organized, you know? Maybe
like showcases.
Yeah, showcases talking about the future basically. Maybe we can have like a format. It'd be like the first 10 or so minutes would be updates for the biz, like a news segment, then there'd be like a showcase segment, and then maybe it could be structured like a podcast, and me and Glenn could just be sitting on a couch just like ButtonPress News.
I'm already sitting on my
No
couch.
need to over.
I mean, there
jump
is
so
this
far now.
futon right behind me. We could easily set up a camera and just be like...
That's true.
Brandon, it's more of a what would you be doing on the sofa?
Yes, wait, Brandon, I have to ask it. I have to ask in front of your audience. When are we doing VR for them, dude? When are we doing
Oh, VR as in like recording videos in VR, or do you mean just for fun?
recording, bro? Let's do
Okay,
it.
you guys might have noticed in the background, this is personal stuff. That's a, here, hold on. You can unmute yourself once that goes away. Anyway, that's a sensor for Oculus. That's also a sensor for Oculus. I have 3 of them, and I'm currently setting up this thing where it all gets pointed right in the center of the room, and this room is like a massive VR playground. It's kind of cool.
It's pretty sweet. I've been there and only like once or twice, but fucking awesome.
Yeah, VR is...
I
Unfortunately,
definitely
this
VR
game...
work.
This game wouldn't really work in VR considering it's a top-down 2D, but, you know.
Dude, but nah. Well, wait, it's in C#. You could transfer it to Unity, make it a top-down like 3D, like just change it up completely and make it so it's like your God viewing viewing you from VR. But that would be sick because you could just look to the left and you'd see like the rest of the map over to the left. Dude, ideas.
I think it'd be set up in a way where I hope that I can get like all the areas loaded at the same time without killing the game. Like, that'd be really sick if there was 0 load times and you could just like, you wouldn't have stuff like this where it goes blip.
Ben, no, we cannot. Maybe try restarting Discord. That might help.
For what?
It's like
Hey Brandon, are you gonna make are you gonna be like that one guy in Ready Player One that has like $1 billion in the future?
Which guy? I literally
You know,
just
the one-
watched the movie.
I read the book.
Oh, nice. You mean like that business owner that owns the corporation that wants to take over or whatever?
No, the guy that made the place.
Oh, the creator.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather not die in that part of the story.
No.
But that's exploring the concepts of Immortal. Yeah, we don't have an official title for the game yet because I can like pretty much guarantee you that Immortal or Project Immortal is probably already taken. Like that's literally just that's like the throwaway like name just for like while it's in development. It's Project Immortal.
Then
I'll
you
look
could
it
come
up.
up with something like Immortalia Semperis or some random like Harry Potter spell name for it.
Yeah, that sounds like a scientific name for it.
I feel like the twist of being
it's
immortal
Latin
should be
name.
something people don't know about right away. I think maybe like as development happens, like some big event maybe could earn the title of the game, you know? And that would just be something that's like someone would mention a game and you'd be like, "Oh, that's the one where the guy doesn't die, right?" And it's like, "Yeah."
Just as an update, Daniel Holy just posted in the stream chat on what he's got for timeline-wise.
Medieval Times is going too far, unfortunately. I would say it's pretty... Okay, so I should probably explain the mental... Or just the process we went through to actually... I mean, of course, this idea could be explored in further titles or even sequels. Maybe, like, the second Immortal game could explore the same compound or whatever that made the first character immortal. Maybe it'd go back way... Like, maybe there's someone that has been living like that for thousands of years. But for now, this...
Like a prequel?
Brandon,
Maybe.
you've not even started the
That's cool.
first yet. You're already
That's what I'm saying. I'm not throwing any ideas away, is what I'm saying. So this first game, I should explain how it was me, Glenn, and Zintom. We were talking about it, and through we actually were thinking a lot about Back to the Future, because that movie involves many different times in the same place. We wanted a place that could evolve as the player does. And such, we needed some place that changes a lot over the given time frame. So what we ended up choosing was...
We're gonna need a pretty large, or we're gonna have to remake the map a couple times then, kind of then.
Yeah,
Or the
yeah,
assets.
exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so we picked a similar area to where Back to the Future takes place. Of course, it's a fictional town, but the general area is, like,
I didn't know that that's why we picked it. I thought we picked
That's why I picked it at first, because, I mean, I looked, it's got all sorts of different, like, it changed so drastically between, like, 90 years, I think it was, in that original storyline with those 3 movies. So, yeah, I think that'd be the best pick. And with the whole cure that makes it so that you can't die thing, I figured that could be something that could be explored with maybe there'd be some natives that have, like, a village, and they discovered this crazy thing that just nobody else is just isolated to that one place, and you're the only one that gets the cure because it's just on a case-by-case basis, and then the person that, like, figured it out dies or something, and, like, that idea is lost, and you're just the one person that has that ability.
I want to
So,
throw out to
that'd
I
be
want to
it.
throw out to Daniel Holy, like, if you come up with, like, a really cool idea and you still feel like your idea needs that medieval part and it's like going through, like, still throw it out, because I don't know, I remember I was talking about that too, and I ended up being like, I don't know, but if you can make it work, I'm interested. At least I'm interested. And, like, all ideas are gonna be looked at least. Like, so, like, if you think you could do it better than what we're saying. But
I'm just showing off the level editor right now in the command prompt.
Could I just interject something about the Immortal side? You could always, like, say it could be a aging, like slow, or it slows down the aging process by a large margin instead of it being like fully immortal. So you still have the element of aging, but it's at a very, very decreased rate.
It's like Wolverine because he slowly got older.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, what about the idea of getting killed then? So, like, if you're slowly aging, then that means you could still be killed at any time.
Yeah. Which then you've still got the thing of like survival. I know it's going now back to like most of these types of games, but then again, it's giving it that like the Wolverine-esque theme where you've got slow age, still the chance of death, which like puts in a sense of danger and alertness into the game.
But you could still live on and have multiple generations of people that you coerce with.
Yeah, we had this.
I do like that.
I think we resolved this problem by saying the threat was jail or something, and then losing friends, and the friends gave you advantages, and if you went to jail for doing something really bad, or you'd
serve a life sentence.
You would serve a life sentence and then lose that friend, and then you wouldn't have that ability anymore.
I think for storytelling purposes, I mean, the idea of slowly aging, again, I hate to throw out ideas that could be really good. So maybe that could be a part of the other game, right? Maybe it could be a less refined version of the immortality serum or whatever. That's like, it kind of works, but like, then there would be a sense of urgency for some of the things that happen in this other. But I think for this, like, the main choice in this game is choosing a life alone, or a forever unending life alone, or a finite life that is lived with those that you like care for. Like, that's the big choice, I would say. So
we could also make death into something, like, you know how a lot of games, like, death affects, like, really does affect like what goes on in the game. So maybe you can die effectively, you know, like,
die
you know,
effectively.
No, like, essentially was the word I was looking for. Essentially was the word I was looking for. Essentially die, in that your stats or something get severely hurt, but you don't actually die. Like, but it could be something that sets you back. But I also kind of like Pat's idea, I will say. The idea of, like, that you could die, but also there is the element of, you know, but...
Yeah, there's always the element of, like, danger and urgency being there, so your choices do matter.
Yeah, but like, there's also the...
Yeah, doing a choice-based one, that is.
Bye. I wish I could go tomorrow.
Goodbye. Take care.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.
Good night.
As far as in the chat, the timeline... Yeah, the timeline for the game is most certainly going to be... probably 1800s up until... I mean, we shouldn't go too far in the future, I would say. Right? Maybe
I think we should have a future era, though. Something past
at
now.
the most, like, maybe 2100.
I don't think that's a bad idea. You know,
something like
something like 2100, 2150 maybe. Something.
So yeah, I'm just showing off the level editor to you guys while we're talking about this, because I feel like this is all what I did for fun, you know? I would say this engine is fully usable to make a game. I mean, sure, there'd be a few bugs to work around, but overall, you could definitely make something with this, which is why I'm really excited to see what we can end up doing in C#, where eventually there's going to be multiple
elements, though. That's something, though, that's big.
Yeah,
that's the one thing that...
I'm the type of person that doesn't mind the turn-based Pokemon-like combat, but I know for a fact that Glenn loves Legend of Zelda and the, you know, running around and...
I'm not a huge fan of the turn-based combat. I like the Yeah, I like to know that when I click the button that I'm attacking at that time.
You want it to be more skill-based, basically.
Yeah. And I think that... Yeah, I like I forgot that it shows all the collisions and stuff in the game too. That's pretty cool, pretty neat. But
I mean, I think personally though, with a game like this, it's, as I said, not about action. It's about making choices. So maybe it would be a better fit if it was not necessarily turn-based, but if it was something that wasn't completely centered around skill. Because, as I said, it's centered around
like
choices.
An Undertale type thing where you
yes.
have a choice to do what.
Yes.
Like,
Undertale is a huge inspiration for how I feel this game. But I should note, this engine was made before Undertale was even a thing, so get that out of the way.
What exactly do you mean by Undertale? This mixture of
Undertale's
skill.
combat system works like this. You have a little menu. It has.
I never said the combat though. I should preface. I never said the combat of Undertale, but like the overarching theme of like making choices and Undertale being that way. But you can continue explaining.
Yeah, it's basically you choose one and they'll give you some more options, or you'll fight. And but I actually had an interjection. What would be the point of fighting if you're immortal?
Exactly. That's one of the choices you would make.
Well,
maybe you want to protect somebody.
The weight being, the weight possibly being the friends that are around you, and for some reason your friends have value. I forgot to mention I had this other idea that maybe your friends are what provide you with your life and immortality. You know, like the loss of your friends essentially is like the loss of you. Like you can't go on living. You know, like something. I don't know how to. That wouldn't necessarily work
sort of
though.
Like you
So it works more like
they give you the
Telltale
energy.
game?
Well, I'm sorry. I just heard.
I heard
two
Telltale
different-
games in there.
I heard a
Would it
few
work
different.
more like a
Minecraft
Telltale game?
story
If
mode.
your
Oh.
friends-
So if I get what you're kind of trying to say, it's sort of like your friends are giving you your life value and sort of feeding you with the energy to keep going.
Kind of, yeah, but at the same time, I don't know if then you are, like, then if your friends die, if that's the risk, then you die. Then
I feel like
it's
with
not really immortal. I don't know.
I think as far as your ambitions are concerned, I mean, there could totally be. I would love if there was multiple paths, like in Undertale, a good path, a bad path. Maybe in the bad path,
with the multiple paths.
it's like no matter what choices you make, there's always going to be pushback. If you try to be the good guy, you have to fight the bad guys. If you try to be the bad guy, you have to fight the good guys. If you try to be neutral, you get attacked by both sides, basically. So it's like, so
How would,
I would say combat wouldn't be too complicated to figure out. You will have to fight, but you won't die. It's more like you're protecting. If you're the bad guys, you want to kill the good guys because you want to get money or fame. But if you're the good guy, you want to kill the bad guys because they're about to hurt a lot of people.
So it's more about the world that you want to create that's at risk as opposed to yourself.
Yes.
Okay, but then what's the risk in the combats then?
The risk is that your objective is lost. Say, I think it's interesting to bring up the Wolverine thing because it's similar. He doesn't die. Well, we don't know that he can die until Logan came out, but you know, well, and the comics. But let's stick to the cinematic universe. Up until Logan, he was basically an unstoppable killing machine. Yet there's still a ton of movies that were out with like very important themes and objectives, and he could have just sat and done nothing like he did in that one bar scene when the X-Men came up to him and he's just like, screw off. But when he had an objective, like, there was still conflict, there was still something at stake if he failed.
Was he protecting something? I don't remember the movie.
It depends what movie you're talking about. Let's not get into X-Men Origins.
Let's not spoil it for
everyone. Well, I just don't want to get into it because the
Wolverine
Deadpool was so bad.
Yeah, we already kind of did spoil it for with the
I've
Logan
already
comment.
watched every single X-Men movie.
Alright, so then
But anyway, I'm saying that just because the character can't die, that doesn't limit us by very much. It just changes how things are going to go down. Or what the reason is.
Can your character still be hurt or knocked unconscious?
You can be knocked unconscious, certainly, but like everything that you get hurt by, like you heal. So if you like get blown up in an explosion, you're basically Deadpool. You can regenerate from one cell. Like you literally cannot die. Like.
So based on that, will you wake up where you were, or will it be like a Pokemon system where you go back to like an area?
I mean, I would say something like what happens in Pokemon. I was never really a fan of. Logic-wise, it's like, well, who carry you back to that place? I think maybe if you have, say, companions and you get knocked out in battle, and maybe you have a friend that finds you and they bring you back to the base or whatever, and it's like, dude, you all right? I had to drag you home. And maybe if you are like alone and you went on the bad path and you have nobody left and you're just like, you got defeated, like you just wake up where you were knocked out and you're just all alone out there. Like you
yeah,
can
I think
That's very interesting.
Yeah, I'm thinking more about this now. And I'm thinking if he is immortal, we kind of do have to make him powerless.
Exactly.
You know, like,
that was one of the
the
original
only
ideas
reason-
as well.
Because if he has any sort of power whatsoever while he's immortal, it kind of doesn't make it.
Overpowered.
Well, it could be
yeah,
like
but-
Undertale explores this idea actually.
But wait,
as you
hear me out. Because like if he's powerless and you apply all of the power that he could gain to things that could be lost, like a friend, like anything, then in that sense there is something still to be lost because you end up valuing it's about the set of values, you know, like what is it that you value in the game.
I mean, it
But
could
yeah.
be, like, if you go on the bad route in Undertale, you get to a point where you actually do get stronger. If you stay on the good path,
good route,
then
you
you stay super weak the entire game. But if you go on the stronger path, you can, like, one-shot most enemies.
There you go. Then we can hear you
And
now.
no, you literally do.
Like, towards the end, there are some emotional moments where you killed, like, these huge characters in one blow. Because the whole point's not the fighting at that point. The whole point is that you just, like, made this horrible decision. And it's
everything.
part of it is how overpowered you are. So that's something to think about as well. That could be played pretty well, I would say, on the vicious route.
It's gonna be an interesting time writing characters.
Yeah, writing this is not going to be easy because it's not a linear story.
Yeah.
I almost want to help you guys with writing the story, but I feel like I need to focus on the music.
Sorry?
I have like half a script for Immortal in mind already.
Word. Hey, you should send that our way.
Yeah.
I think it's on.
Yeah, I need to actually write it out. I'll try to do that tonight.
That would be great.
Man, this is so cool. I mean,
Of course, I didn't actually read about what you had discussed with yourself, so a lot of what I'll say would probably go against what you said, but it's at least something.
yeah, bits and pieces are definitely appreciated though, because ultimately, like the final line of like something being released would probably be me and Glenn and Zintom probably, like, you know. So up until then, just any bits and pieces and like whole story pieces.
That's not to
and,
say
like,
that if somebody throws us something our way, like, and we're like, wow, this is really good, that we're not gonna, we will absolutely include and collaborate. So
yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Why
did you
not?
see what I had posted, like, suggestions or something for one possible ending?
If you okay, here's something I should preface to everybody. Don't be afraid to at me on Discord. You can totally do
I
that.
at you all the time.
Yes, you
Now
do.
just people at you now, Brandon. You've just done this to yourself.
No, but it has to be. There has to be a good reason though. You can't just at me and be like hi. You at me and show me something you did. That is totally fine, and it should be.
So I should stop adding you with names.
And it should be in the
Somebody
appropriate
hi
chat
today.
as well. So if you have this, would help me like filter out ats. So if somebody has some work to show me, submit it in Work Showcase and then at me in there, and then I'll give it a look. Or whoever, if you have any sort of music to submit, chances are you're probably going to want to contact Glenn because he knows this stuff way better than I do.
Just a quick question: with the programming, would asynchronous patterns be useful?
There you go.
with the coding side.
So you mean something like World Gen?
Well, like with Discord bots, they have the asynchronous patterns because I've tried coding Discord bots before, and I ended up using the bot maker because I couldn't do them at that time. But the asynchronous patterns, or whatever they're
You
called,
mean like
they're,
threading?
they're ones where you get a task and then. So think of like Steam. When you're downloading a game on Steam, you can still do other stuff.
Oh yeah.
would be like-
Yeah, the
like
RP Games engine,
multi-thread.
the VB version is asynchronous. There's so many
Right.
things going on in different threads that, yeah.
Yeah,
In fact,
so-
Monogame has two dedicated threads, the drawing thread and the update thread anyway. So it's fundamentally asynchronous technically.
Yeah, so if I were to save the game, I'm pretty sure, was it F5? F4? See, it said saving for a millisecond, but I was still, like, if you're looking on the screen,
Yeah.
it's technically asynchronous, but it happens so fast that it looks like, but the screen doesn't freeze. I'm still allowed to move while it's saving.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
asynchronous.
just had to get that question out because a lot of people, when they think of coding in games, they don't actually think about the like multitasking side of asynchronous patterns.
Oh yeah, no, I've thought about that. It's very important, I would say, for a game to do things asynchronously, because any halts in the game are bad.
Yeah.
But to be fair, most of the stuff happens pretty instantly.
Yeah.
Like computers are pretty fast. Like
Yeah,
most
but
of
when
the game.
yeah.
For example, in the game loop in the game that Brandon's showing on the live stream right now, like everything's happening 60 times a second on one update thread.
Yeah.
And the computers are pretty good at handling synchronous stuff. But
I mean, that's not to say we should be lazy though. We should still be.
Oh, no.
I mean,
if you were doing like multiplayer, your client that talks to the server would have to be asynchronous. Otherwise, the whole thing would just lock up every time it's talking to the server.
If you did don't make it like bad for potatoes, because I have a $300 MacBook Air and can't do anything.
This is cool. So you mentioned multiplayer. I forgot I implemented multiplayer into the RP Games engine in the VB version way back. So there is another player right there. I don't know about Project Immortal. I mean, maybe as like a optional, like after the story's ended. See, these are both the same.
Then again, how would you implement the actual multiplayer side of it?
But let's not get into multiplayer. Let's just say the RP Games engine should be able to make all sorts of games, and it should just be capable of it. I'm not saying it will be a part of Project Immortal. It will be a part of RP Games engine.
Multiplayer is a pain in the ass.
It's a whole. It opens a whole can of worms.
Not split screen. Split screen's not as bad, because I remember me and Brandon actually working on split screen.
Yeah, and that's what I'm showing off right now.
Well, that's all in the same instance. You're not connecting two computers of different instances, which is...
No, it's all... When you're talking about online multiplayer, it's all sockets and flipping... Ugh, it's horrible, like binary, converting stuff into, like, their raw value. So imagine this, Brandon. Getting your world object and trying to send it over, convert it to zeros and ones, and send it over a socket.
I mean, one thing that would be nice about this, though, is that with something like the game, what I would end up doing is giving a single ID number and then a single coordinate, and that's all I would really need, you know, for most things. So it'd be literally like single bytes of information.
But wouldn't it
that's how I did it with my
like arrays, like 2D arrays and stuff? Wouldn't they be easier for that?
Yeah, but
oh, you mean for something like the tiles set, like the world?
Welcome back, Master Blitz.
Hello.
Well, would you be able to like run for president and be able to be president for like 200 years?
That would be funny. Oh my god, that'd be hilarious.
That'd be like an Easter egg meme.
No, it should be this super complicated quest that if you do everything right, you can become president.
That'll be part of the bad side, dude. That'll be part of the bad part of the... Like, you know how you can be good or bad? Like,
well, that's the thing, though. I don't know about back then, because we're talking 1700s, so maybe rules can be written about the whole one term thing.
And then
if it is in the 1700s, if the timing is just right. So if you try to do it in, like, the 21st century, people are just going to be like, get out of here. But if you do it, like right after the Declaration of Independence was signed, you could just be like, hey, I'll just be the president forever.
But,
yeah, wait, there's an option?
Case, what if you just become a dictator?
Yeah, exactly. That's basically what you would be.
Wait,
what if you write the Declaration of Independence?
Yo, ready? So you're gonna be going through time, right? And there's an option for options for multiple quests during different time periods. And during the time period in which they're still figuring out like all of the things about the presidency, right? You run for presidency, and the quest would be based on the quest, you could choose to be a good president or a bad president, make the rules in a way that benefits the country, or become a dictator. You could become and like ruin things or make things great, and it like should seriously affect the story. I think
America great again.
That sounds like a sequel or like a side game more than the main game.
I'm now getting flashbacks to Dragon Ball Xenoverse.
We don't talk about Xenoverse here.
Don't know the goddamn quests. Oh my god.
We don't talk about Xenoverse here. Stop.
Xenoverse, just no. Xenoverse 2 maybe, but just Xenoverse 1. No.
I like how this one guy in the chat's talking about like a single 1v1 in Bed Wars, bruh.
Yo, it's all about Shippuden, bro.
I'm not even
Ninja
on
Storm
the stream
4.
anymore. I jumped off.
I played 36 games the other day. If I'm gonna remember, I don't think I'm gonna remember one 1v1. I'm sorry.
I almost won Red Bed Wars game yesterday.
Oh, Glenn, I had a question for you.
What's up?
So, is this gonna be the type of game where there's gonna be like constant background music, or is it gonna be like certain moments that are more silent?
I'm thinking that I would like to make it as much music as possible, but I know that silence can enhance music.
For dramatic, yeah. Like that one scene I was talking about with the bar and whatnot, and going back, and I think silence in that would be very powerful. So it's definitely not... Like, there's commands in place already that can start and stop music and control the volume, play sound effects, so there's freedom.
Wasn't the music been bugged in the last update?
What happened?
I'm just kind of thinking about the fluidity of it.
Pretty sure, like, with the fading out, you got it...
Oh.
It duplicated the music track or something. So.
Yeah, that bug I think is still there, but it's so rare. I'm completely redoing it in C# anyway, so that bug's probably not going to show up again, but that's a thing.
Question for Glenn and Musician. What are your guys' opinions on FL Studio compared to the software you use currently?
I used it for a little while, and I don't have anything bad to say about it. But I will say that I just enjoy using Ableton more, because FL Studio is more. I don't know how to explain. It's just, you know how there's like Photoshop and then GIMP, and they can both do the exact same thing, but they get at it in two different ways. Photoshop is kind of like Ableton or Logic, and GIMP is kind of like FL Studio, because it's just like, I think it's more complicated, but I think you could do more with it too. Like, I don't really know how to explain it better.
I would say Photoshop's the more complicated of the two. GIMP's like the easy version. I'll be back. I have to turn on my AC.
Really? I feel like Photoshop.
I have experience with both GIMP and Photoshop. GIMP is terrible to use. I had to use it for my digital graphics unit.
Then okay, then I won't make the comparison of FL Studio to that, because FL Studio is honestly. I always viewed GIMP and Photoshop as like similar, but
I always thought FL Studio is what the pros use.
FL Studio is up there. It really depends on where you are, like, and who you're working with. FL Studio can do the same stuff, but it's just different.
A lot of professionals use Ableton more than FL Studio, I find.
Yeah, well, Ableton's used in Berkeley, but there are a lot of people who, like, if you're a Mac user, you're going to be using Logic, which is like the Ableton of Mac. And then,
So they use Ableton at St. Rose, so it's like the best color we have here.
Yeah, so there's... Yeah, Ableton I feel like is the most user-friendly. FL Studio is
good, it's just a little more confusing.
Agreed, yeah. It can probably do the same shit, and it can run all the same plugins, you know, VST2, VST3 plugins. But...
No one pay attention to what I'm doing on screen
It's just a little bit more wonky, in my opinion.
Everyone starts paying attention to what he's doing on screen.
I'm not even watching the stream right now.
So as a distraction from whatever Brandon's doing on the stream, Glenn, are we going to be doing like separate voice calls and chats for each different section of production? Like, are the musicians and the artists gonna have separate voice chats of their own?
Well, what I'm thinking is we need to first, before we start writing too much music, first, well, like, feel free to brainstorm with whatever you want with, like, different feelings and stuff. But we need mechanics, we need scenes. We need some inspiration.
Yeah, you need to know what's going on before you start.
What I've been doing so far is I took what Brandon showed us of yours, and I've been trying to make a more, like, a fluid offshoot of that.
Can I also say that was written as I also like perform music around me, and that was Schmoopy Doop, that thing. I never meant for that. Like that wasn't actually supposed to be involved with the game, but but it was actually more of like a test to sound more of a poppy style. So like we don't. That's part of what I can do, but I want it to be less electronic than what it was. And
I put a little bit of piano music in A minor just that I was doing while the stream was going, and I've found that with the feeling that this game was giving me, it kind of fit. I need to refine it a lot more before I can actually like, you know.
Brandon, what are you doing?
Hey Brandon, bind that NPC command to a hotkey and just spam it.
Oh yeah, I can do that. I forgot.
What I was gonna ask is possibly after this or some other time, Yumi and whoever else wants to do the music to get together and just listen and play around with some stuff and see what kind of fits the feeling this game is giving us so far.
Sure, dude. I think it's a great idea.
Alright.
I'm pretty pressed for time as far as things are going usually, but I've been on a lot more lately. So yeah, I'll try and get some stuff together, and then when I'll try and stay more active in the Discord chat and stuff, and then we'll set something up.
I like how
sometime and I'll be there.
Hell yeah.
Could I just say that someone in the stream chat just suggested more of like a battle royale slash genre type deal with the multiplayer minigame type thing.
Okay,
let's make Fortnite.
That game is not hard to make.
It's kind of hard to do that when no one can die.
Think of the Thanos game mode they put in on Fortnite. That's basically what he's suggesting.
Do you know what's sad? I created this game like all on my own, basically the command aspect of it, and I'm using my own system I had in place for help to figure out how to use my own command again. And I just used it to bind that NPC command to the J key, and now you just get this.
Brandon, please call me Cat Kid's comments in the stream chat.
Am I gonna have to like...
Did Gold get his hands on a cloning device?
What did I do?
Oh, the game's starting to not like this. I mean, considering how many NPCs are floating around, I would say this is pretty well optimized.
This is where you might say that you want the NPCs to be on a separate thread. I don't know.
That actually
maybe.
Jesus Christ, Brandon, what are you doing?
Then again, in what case do you have that many NPCs?
Yeah, well, actually, if you can run that many NPCs, what that means is that if we get like group control for NPCs, we could have some really large scale battles. That would be sick.
I could optimize it more. I bet you I can make this work at 144 frames or higher. I just need to. I mean, I'm redoing it in C#, obviously, so I'll get a chance to start completely over with all of this.
Why don't we just have like guns? I feel like it moves fast enough. You could like just a little button where you pull out a little, like a revolver in the older times, and then it turns into a laser gun. And you just fucking like a fox gun.
If you want to be that guy, right?
Overpowered.
It depends on your choices.
Or
it's a game based more on choice, so I think combat and stats should be a thing, but I don't think they should be the most emphasized thing. I mean, a good game.
Have sword fight that's like I imagine we could maybe have like some ranged weaponry, something maybe you could throw, something you could shoot like a bow. Maybe you could, like depending on the time period, maybe a sword kind of like Link to the Past, sword and shield style. Like like I feel like that combat would be very likable compared to the turn-based.
With how this is going, this is going to end up turning out like them Henry Stickmin choice games. If anyone's played them, please just understand what I mean.
Those are great games.
Yeah,
I don't think
what I mean with the choices.
Henry, what's that?
Henry Stickmin.
Look up like Escaping the Prison.
Oh, I love those games. Those games are great.
That's what this is going to end up turning out like.
I'm looking at it right now.
How can I see that?
Guys, Guys, it's now 25 to 1 in the morning. What am I doing with my life?
I know. I think it's the same thing, Pat.
So, we should just go to bed.
It's like 7:30 for us.
How long's the stream on for?
It's been going for an hour and a half now.
Oh, I mean, as in how long is it going to go for?
Oh, and basically until we run out of stuff. So once everything dies down, yeah, we're getting there.
Everyone keep going. Let's make this as long as possible.
Oh no, I've already done a 5-hour stream today for Sky Factory.
I said before this stream started in the general chat, I swear this is going to end up turning like an FTB episode.
5 hours later.
Should I drop a Chinky?
We should have a scene in the beginning where it starts you in the middle of medieval times, sword fighting in the World Wars, then modern, then futuristic, then a little blank.
Continued.
Stream chat's always amusing.
So, I think we should probably figure out when things are gonna start, right?
Yeah, my thoughts.
It'd be best to start them soon-ish.
Yeah.
What do you mean by when things?
Oh, this is just... I love this right now.
Brandon, you're just going to like your computer.
And that's just his goal in life, bro. It brings him joy, don't question it.
So I think it'd be easiest to have like the leader of each certain section decide when they're going to start working on things.
Yeah, almost like a head person for each.
Yeah, like Glenn, Ali, and you and Zin, each individually deciding, oh, we're gonna start actually working. You know, we're gonna do this, this, and this.
I think we should probably look at how current games.
Working on music and maybe adding some stuff to the story. So I'm
yeah.
Selfies took up so much goddamn space on your phone.
I don't think that I would have much of a title other than Project Head, like in general, because
in that case you could jump into various different ones at times to see what's going on.
I mean, I would mostly be doing programming, probably, you know, because that's what I know how to do.
Like department CEOs, department leaders, and
yeah.
Done that. And here's the thing, I've never done business before, and I'm just saying.
Plague One, I appreciate you're playing Fortnite right now.
Hey, I just booted it. I figured we were having a casual talk at this point.
We pretty much are, though. That's the thing.
Come and join me, Glenn.
It's a casual business chat.
Yeah, does anyone want to join me?
Yeah.
I would, but after this I have to go and see my sister.
I would, but I don't play bad games. So.
Oh, alright, bro.
When I get back tonight, I'll probably join you. I'll see if Thanatos is up.
I think at some point, even before the business stuff starts to starts to happen before ButtonPress. Technically, it is licensed, but it's not. I'm not in good standing with New York tax law and stuff. So like, it's a thing, but it's not done. So once everything's
you're
done,
not in good standing with New York.
Well,
explain that.
I have to be very careful about that because in order to be in good standing, you basically have to have your. You have to do the newspaper thing. You have to be taxable. You have to have an official set of employees and forms and keep track of everything. Yeah,
no,
but
Brandon, this is where you move to China.
So,
I have no idea how that would solve anything.
It would solve taxes.
It has like no labor laws.
But then the business would be completely invalid. Just you made the business.
But anyway, I would say just for the sake of getting the project going, I mean, I'm definitely up for sharing some GitHub with Zintom. Obviously, me and Glenn have been on a basis where we just share what we do, so that's not really going to change. I mean, he could just submit anything, and I'll throw it in the game and see what happens. Storyboard, I feel like as far as priorities are concerned, we really have to figure out what the story is before we do anything. Because, like, we need to know what the engine should be capable of. We need to know what kind of music we need. And before any of that's done, we need, like, a story.
I agree.
I'm working on it.
So, I can maybe assist with the story a little bit. Don't know if it's my best because most of my story writing is all, like, future-y.
there was a question that came up about realism. I would say minus the Immortal thing, I would like the universe to be pretty realistic. I mean, there were ideas thrown about having like a Back to the Future reference. I would love to do that. So like, there could be little things that don't make sense.
The chicken and the grass on the side of Area 7, that gives you the good ending.
Does fighting need to be a huge thing in this game?
No, not particularly. It's more Brandon's
Like,
thing, but...
fighting isn't really a thing that people will oftentimes do. It's a thing that might come up, but it's not what people always do in their day-to-day lives.
Yeah, as far as story is concerned, it's more about objectives. How you go about doing it really doesn't matter in the end as far as story is concerned, if you know what I mean. So like in the end, if you defeat this organization, whether it be by bringing them in with the cops or killing them, it doesn't really matter in the end with the story. So something like specifics like that, I would say almost at dev time, you know?
Hey,
some
Brandon,
things. What?
2 questions for you.
Yeah.
What are your opinions on like those really addicting games? If you know like the developers Voodoo, like they make like Dune and like Crush and like a few other addicting games.
You mean like Cookie Clicker and like mobile games mostly?
Yeah.
This is not one of those. Personally, they're a good way to make money, but not much else.
Be like
when
Bandai.
are you gonna do your next Sky Factory episode?
Okay, so I'm gonna be on a trip, not saying where because this is live, but next Saturday I'm not gonna be available. So I mean, I might stream some Bed Wars at some point, but Sky Factory will be on the 9th. It's the next episode. That's not too long actually. It's only like 2 weeks. But yeah.
So, for the endings of each storyline, are we thinking like drastically different or like somewhat similar?
I think the good ending.
I have an idea in mind for the ending.
Okay, I think multiple endings would be good. By the way, as something that could be open.
Well, that's an idea for one ending.
I think something that would be super rewarding for the good ending would be that through your connections and everything that they found a way to make you mortal again. And then you live out the rest of your life with your current friends and, like, I would say adopted family or whatever.
So you finally realize that death is like the point, in a sense, almost like you need to like, I don't know how to explain what I'm saying.
Would that be more of like a true ending or a good? Like, how many endings are you thinking on this one?
Another ending could be that you decide to like hang out with some gangs and you like do bad stuff, and in the end, everyone basically hates you and you're not allowed anywhere, or you're gonna get like shot or something. Even though you're not gonna die, you're just gonna end up back where you like out in the middle of nowhere, and you're just like outed by society, and you just kind of like lose all meaning. And you're just there.
Yeah, I guess really the two endings between good and bad of Spectrum are kind of like whether or not you find meaning in living.
And then really, if we're going with the whole Undertale thing, there's like 8 different neutral endings, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can have a lot of creative freedom with writing endings. I mean, different things can lead to different endings.
Both ends of the spectrum.
Pick up the banana in chapter 2 to get the true ending.
Good and bad endings.
I think a true ending might involve, I don't know, maybe there is a good ending where you stay immortal. Maybe you accept the fact that you're immortal and you just, I don't know.
I feel like the being made mortal should be like a true ending of some variety.
Maybe. Well, we gotta think about the message we're putting out, too. We don't want to be like, dying is good.
Well, I think the message should be that there are many different ways of interpreting it, and that all the different ways of interpreting it should be displayed through the endings that we give, which should be a multiplicitous thing, you know, like we.
So maybe there isn't a true. Well, I think there should be a true ending because it'd be kind of cool to set up a little universe where like you could set up multiple games, and for that you would need a true ending. But maybe that would be picked afterwards, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe for purposes of the next thing, it'd be like, okay, which ending would fit best in the universe now that they're all done?
And another thing for playability, you could carry on.
Live life to the fullest.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of simple, but I mean, it's.
Yeah, like what happens when the bucket list runs out? This is like,
make a new bucket list.
That could be a funny ending too. It's just like, well, I've done everything.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
New bucket.
You do too.
Yeah, but to stop that, you could include the randomly generated aspect.
Like post-game content sort of deal?
Well, the interactions that could have throughout the story could be randomly generated. So, like,
that would be interesting.
Play the game multiple times, but the events won't always be the same each time you go through.
Yeah. That would be very interesting. Yeah. I had this crazy idea where, like, if I were to implement AI into this, and the game would sort of like it'd react to itself as the storyline went on, and like be different every time. Like, how cool would that be? Just seeing like literal, genuine reactions from NPCs.
That would be interesting and hard to make.
It would be. Maybe for a future project in this engine, but it's an interesting idea.
So, as a question to you, how extensive do you want this sort of universe to be?
I mean, for now, I think we should focus on this particular story. I think that's how most... I mean, I feel like, for example, in the Terminator series, right? They weren't thinking about the cinematic universe as much. Like, they weren't thinking about, oh, what are we putting in the second movie? Like, I feel like that kind of just happened, you know? It was like, oh, well, we need more content, so they ended up sending a second robot. You know, it's like... I think we should focus more on making the story good for this first one. I mean, it's not a bad thing to build a universe, but we shouldn't make it so, like, there's so much information being held back.
I think he means, like, how large scale of the map as well as time.
Oh,
like, how, like, I mean, in the game, how far are you willing to expand the universe? Not in theory.
I mean, if we look at Back to the Future, right, they only went maybe one town, maybe a few outskirts of that town. I mean, we could be bigger than that, obviously, but I would say not very large. At most, maybe like a few towns, maybe a city or two, but that's about it.
Large enough, and the largeness
and it changes.
Kind of
it's technically like
in the time changing. Yeah, it would.
Yeah, the time changing is going to make it almost a different place each time. So
Yeah.
And would it be like you can choose where you go when, or more like a linear path that you have?
Probably choose more so.
Yeah, I would stay away from linear with most things. I like it to be a game that people would want to replay.
That's why I suggested the aspect of randomly generated events.
Yeah, that would definitely... I mean, maybe one thing that's cool would be what Fallout does with their... In Fallout 3, New Vegas didn't really do it, but in 3, they had these, like, unscripted... Like, these random events that happened, like, from time to time. I think Fallout 4 did it, actually. Where, like, there's these random situations that come up and you can just... like interact with them. Like there's this one that I remember, one of my favorite random events was this one vendor popping up out of nowhere and selling me like this machine gun that had explosive rounds, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh, now you're making me want to play.
Wasn't a video?
It wasn't in a video, no. Most of my Fallout 4 experience was off camera. The first like few hours was put into 10 episodes, but that didn't perform very well, so I stopped.
Not quite the audience for that.
See,
yeah.
It's a little bit of a problem. If we have it be so open, how are we going to pass a span of hundreds of years?
Well, there might be whole segments of the game that get skipped when you get a life sentence in jail or whatever, you know?
But then if someone not get arrested, not fall into a coma, avoid all these different things, then they are going to be in for a very long game, and if this is the first time playing, they might find it boring.
True. Maybe. Well, I think the easier paths to go along, like the things that people are more likely to do, would result in the ideal game experience. You know what I mean? I feel like, so like, for example, if you are given this choice to either, like, I don't know, save your friend or leave him behind, I feel like more people would probably save the friend. And then that would result in a storyline that's slightly, maybe
surely
shorter.
We could have, like, backups just in case, like, they said, in case they don't take, like, the crazy path, you could just have a backup, like, you catch the flu, and if you get, your immune system's really weak, you catch the flu and go into a coma for 100 years. So you don't find the fight yourself. It just comes to you, sort of.
But then people will get angry. It's like, oh, no matter what I do, I'm still...
Yeah, some people might call it out for lazy writing if something like that were to happen. I mean, I've watched enough Cinema Sins to know when people think something's been forced. So, yeah.
Now I know you've been binge watching YouTube. You're watching Cinema Sins.
I've watched too much Kitchen Nightmares in the past week.
Oh my god, yes. Gordon Ramsay yelling at people.
I love watching Gordon Ramsay just like ream into people. That's like my favorite thing on the planet. If that's...
Only thing is I can't quote any of his quotes because they're not appropriate.
Yeah, dude. Hell's Kitchen, he is just a monster.
He is literally a demon.
Oh man, I love it though.
It's funny to think that he like has another show where he's like encouraging kids to be good at cooking.
Yeah.
Oh, he's mad nice in Kitchen Nightmares. He refurbishes all the fucking everything.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's like a show, like more so for the cameras than it is.
I mean,
like...
people have multiple sides though. Like I can tell you for a fact, like there are times when I am not composed.
Oh yeah,
all.
well yeah, no,
like,
yeah. Well,
so I can easily see him being a single person.
I think
like,
his yelling and his treatment of people is less so him being abusive and more so a reflection of the harshness of the chef industry. You know, like,
yeah,
and
maybe
trying to show these people how much you're really gonna have to give it. You know, if you want to fucking.
I am really sorry to
interject so off topic so fast.
Being a chef is tough.
We're talking about being chefs now.
Yeah. Well, I would say we're starting to reach the point where I think most of the things that should have been said have been said. Ideas have been thrown out. Anybody watching this, and if you think you can contribute to this project, then you totally should. Like, go check out the application.
I think it's just everyone in the chat and then 2 people on the stream. 1 person on the stream. So it's just everyone.
Well, I mean, this is going to be uploaded later too, so you know.
Oh, true. That's very true.
Yeah,
not a lot of people that are like in the call though.
Well, there's 13 people in the call and 15 people watching the stream.
And they were talking in the call.
So yeah.
Oh, that's true. But
it's like 6 of us,
actually,
7 of us.
Yeah, there's like 3 to 5 people not talking.
So I would say I'm gonna say the next meeting, like the next episode of this live thing, I would say we're probably gonna wait until ButtonPress is done being licensed completely. This is Sigma, thank you for the super chat. And positions have been given out, contracts have been signed, people are officially on board.
3 hearts burning,
So like once officially there are people and there's a team, and then maybe give it a week or 2 of work, and then once there's something to show for it and like the people have gotten more comfortable around each other, that's when we upload the next thing. So it's gonna be like, we're back and this is what we've done, here's the people that are being involved, and then we'll just talk, you know, like what we're doing now.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should just, considering how far off topic we got at the ending there, we should make a podcast with just like.
This could be a podcast, yeah.
Anyone who wants to come on and just talk about Chef Gordon Ramsay for a while.
I guess I missed a lot.
Yeah, whoever that is did definitely miss a lot.
Alright guys, well with that, that is it for the Patrick Hewitt, thank you for the super chat. That is
dropping Pachinki.
I know I'm on here, you know.
I would say that is it for this first episode of the ButtonPress Studios live event talk show thing. Podcast with video.
Oh no, I died.
I can see this being very similar to like what Linus Tech Tips does with like that one thing.
I just shot myself
the
at
WAN
the wrong
show.
wall.
Yes.
Okay, 3 hearts burning.
Yeah.
Burning,
Love that show.
falling.
I can just see me and Glenn just playing Fortnite talking about the music.
Dude. Yeah, wait, yo, let's play some Fortnite right now.
I can't.
All right. Well, anyway, I think we can end the stream here. Make sure to stick around. If you haven't joined the Discord, totally do it. It's a chill community. We've got like 142 people now.
Woohoo!
You might need to throw a link in the.
2 from a
stream
perfect
chat.
squad.
Oh yeah. That's a good point. I'll throw a link in there.
I got you, boy. Yo,
It's
Glenn,
in
I'm
the
in your
description. Have it.
yeah.
And it's
When
in
I
the
get back, I'll
description.
hit you
There's a
up.
different link that works too.
I'm
All
sorry,
right.
I didn't hear you, Grace.
Well, next time when we see you guys on YouTube, hopefully there's some stuff to show.
Yep.
All right. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys later.
Bye bye.